Going.
No, sorry, that was a Team Liquid map contest map that I was referring to. Anyway, go ahead.
Spawning up in the top left-hand position of merry-go-round, we have got the red Zerg player representing Team Liquid. It's Snute. And in the top right, the blue Terran player representing Team Empire. We have Happy.
I'm like in the habit of like one person doing one intro, one person doing the other, from like casting a couple times on base trade, because that's what Rifkin does. Like, it's really bad. I casted a Total Biscuit for Shoutcraft the other day, just like interrupted his intros like twice.
That's just BM. Just BM, Penguin.
So sorry.
I should disconnect you from this call right now and just be like, no. But I won't, because I love you that much. You can stay. Anyway, game number 1, we saw a lot of aggression coming down from both sides. Repeated run-bys of Hellions from Happy. A lot of workers killed. It was bad times. But this is a slightly different map. It's a very different map.
My question is, are we going to see Happy do a gasless opening again? I don't think he will, because it kind of relies on... Because like, the reason you don't do it is because it's not as good an opening. Like, the only way it's as good an opening is if you catch your opponent off guard and kill off the Overlord like he did on Sejong. And Snoot's going to be kind of ready for that, because that happened last game. And as a result, we do see Happy going for the gas here. He's going to be going for a standard Reaper opening here, while Snoot just going to be opting for the very, very standard hatchery first play.
And Snute, I wouldn't be surprised if he did this pretty much every single map of this series, because he's confident in it, he is more macro-orientated, actually grabbing the gas up before the pool this game. Remind me, did he do this last game as well?
I'm not entirely sure. He got a relatively early gas.
He did.
I think it may have been gas pool, or pool gas.
The only advantage of getting down this gas sooner is you do get speed out quicker. It delays your queens a little, but not by an amount that's too substantial.
No, it's not that bad. And what you'll end up doing is we'll probably see him pull 2, if not all 3 of these drones off gas afterwards, just because you don't need the gas income that early for anything other than speed. And from there, like, he could leave them in gas and go for something crazy like a Roach Baneling all-in or something, but that's not really something we see. Roach Bane is kind of petered out of the meta recently. Like, I don't think we've seen that many pros do it at all recently at all. But like, he could go for something crazy like that. It is a best of 7 after all.
And pulling out aggressive play like that, one of the maps, is never a bad move. If you look at some of the real top players, people like Jack G, he'll go for a proxy 11-11 2 racks in a series quite often, just try and catch your opponent off guard. But in terms of openings, for the moment, the Reaper about to pop in now for Happy. The second one's on its way, and this is a much more conventional, standard, in the meta opening from our Terran this map.
Yeah, we've already got a couple of Lings out here for Snute. He's going to be able to buy some time with the Lings. You know, you don't want to lose the Lings, but if you do, it's not that terrible because you're losing Lings instead of drones. And basically what he's doing is just buying time for the Queens to get out, because the Queens are really the defense that you need against the Reaper play. And with that Queen coming out, he shouldn't really take any damage from here. And we may see Happy try to get on in if he's really, really zealous. He may try to get into 2 Reapers and try to focus down drones, because you can try to do that. But generally, Happy's going to be more concerned with keeping the Reapers alive until the Hellions pop on out to help deny creep.
Now, Snute, he has got an Overlord coming in to Happy's base, so we can see a lot of the stuff basically going on, but isn't too worried about it. Nothing should really be coming as a surprise to Snute at this stage. If you see 2 Reapers, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the 4 Hellion follow-up to that. Sometimes 6 Hellions, depending on how aggressive the Terran player wants to be. Getting the starport, though, and this hasn't been seen yet. However, both gases are taken, and so Snute should have a good idea that it is quite a gas-heavy play. Has the Stargate? Yes, it has.
It's been seen. And even if it hadn't, it would be really, really weird if he didn't go for it. So Snoot's in the know here, but it's not super important because he's like, this is a pretty standard build out of Happy. Like, it is nice. He's going to know that there's Banshees on the way, but it's nothing too unconventional here. Really nice micro here with the Lings to keep some on the low ground, some on the high ground. Happy could still escape with these Reapers. They're both very low, though. I think one of them may well die. And he's actually going to run into the Lings and try to get them killed, but no, the Reapers do both survive. Oh, no!
No, the wall! This is a massive problem! Okay, this is going to be huge now. A lot of those Hellions go down as well. They're the big defense. Happy is in a huge amount of trouble right now. He needs to use these SCVs to block off, but he's not. Down goes a Reaper. This is a disaster for Happy.
Yeah, this is really not what you want to happen to yourself as a Terran. Snoot's probably feeling like it's Christmas this game because he just killed off 9 workers, 10 workers, like 3 Hellions, 2 Reapers, what more could you ask for here? He's up by 34 to 16 workers. He knows about the Banshee pressure that's coming in, and Happy kind of needs to do damage at this, but I don't see how he can, because Snute has enough time to react and take a third behind this, getting Lair. Like, Snute's just put himself in a position where he is ahead in literally every single way.
Generally, as a Zerg player, you're going to be ridiculously happy if you are able to just stop this push, let alone deal a ton of worker damage as well. Now, Happy moves in with 3 Hellions to the natural, but with only a couple of worker kills, actually getting quite a few, more than potentially he should have done here. It's still not enough. He's still not even leveled out the workers lost.
He sacrificed the Hellions for that, and he already lost 3 of them, so that's 6 Hellions, I think, that have gone down this game for him, and that's also him sacrificing the entirety of the map control that he would have, which means that Snute can just spread creep to his heart's content, and if the last game is anything to show what's going to happen this game, Snute's creep spread is probably going to get a little bit out of hand in just a couple minutes.
A couple of Lings try and get back in towards Happy's natural, but the Hellions shut them out, which is good. But as you said, Penguin, this creep spread is starting to look crazy. And without any map presence from Happy, due to losing all those units earlier on, he can't really stop it for quite a long time. This is great for Snute. He's just running towards his opponent pretty quick. He's getting more units out, quite high on the queen count as well, in order to deal with his Banshee. And there isn't that much, really, that Happy can do right now to punish this Zerg.
Yeah, Happy's going to go into bio, which is worth noting since he did go mech last time around. But, I mean, I'm just trying to think about, like, obviously Happy's not dead. He's still alive. He's trying to get as much damage done as he can with these Banshees. He picks up another worker, but even the Banshees haven't really paid for themselves all that much. A lot of these worker kills are from the Hellions, not from the actual Banshees. So the Banshees themselves, he's going to need to keep them alive and try to utilize them later in the game. He can use them for defense a little bit if Snute tries to get really aggressive. He can focus down Banelings at them or something like that, but for now, he's only killed off 3 workers with the Banshees. 6 were from those Hellions, and at this point, Snute's going to get into double upgrades. Happy doesn't have any engineering bays in sight, but he could put those down relatively soon. He's not necessarily going to be super far behind in the upgrades. We have 1 engineering bay coming down as part of the wall here now. Is he only going to go 1 upgrade?
It would be quite interesting to see. It's something which you can see, but generally if it's going to be a much earlier +1 or something, you can get that timing. But at this stage in the game, double engineering bays are almost always the case, so this is quite unusual from Happy. From Snute, we've got the Baneling Nest coming down as well. But as long as he defends off against these Hellions that are moving in now, he's still in a great position this game.
Now, this is what we were talking about before. The creep spread is starting to get really out there, and a big thing to note about the creep spread is that while the Hellions are faster than the Lings or just narrowly slower, enough so that you can kite them really, really well off creep, as soon as you get on creep, the Zerg can get a surround off. He can move his queens around a lot easier to defend against those. Look, the creep is like, it's like 2 tumors away from the tower already, and it's going up in all directions here. Happy cannot really surprise Snute here. He's coming out with a lot of bio as well. Stim is going to be done. He's going to need to get some damage done here, and he actually may well do that because there's actually not really all that many units.
There really isn't. Snute, he's only at 16 army supply currently. 8 Banelings are morphing in. Down go all the queens. This is a beautiful push by Happy, and the third hatch of Snute is in a lot of trouble. More Lings coming through.
Way too greedy here. He's got some Banelings in, and there is creep, but there's so many units here. Even if the Banelings connect really, really well, and they don't, Happy with some excellent splits here. This is going terribly for Snute now, and Snute just over-droning it to the max by the looks of it, not getting the information he needed to see this 3 racks Hellion pressure coming on, and the Queen's going to try to focus down the Banshees. One goes down, the other one getting low on health as well, but it will survive. And, well, the Bio's going to continue moving on forward. 4 more Banelings are going to finish. Are they going to connect? One does go down. The Queen going down as well. The Banshee could try to focus down the very, very few Banelings that there actually are here. Snute's still up in supply. A lot of the workers are still alive. He is trying to hold this off, and he will connect with that last Baneling, and that actually means that he's in a pretty good spot. He saved a lot of those drones. He has another hatchery coming up on the south, and he will be able to resaturate that base momentarily as soon as that finishes up.
Now, up until that final Baneling hit, Happy was doing an absolutely phenomenal job of microing away from the Baneling, splitting his Marines and focusing them down. And he did a lot of damage there. 18 workers now killed by Happy compared to the 10 of Snute. And that has actually really leveled out this game. Still though, Snute re-expanding, or has already re-expanded to a 4th base, which is now his 3rd, means that he is still 1 base up on his opponent. And for the moment, Happy, he's just finishing up his 3rd orbital, so he needs to really focus on the economic side of things and continue on keeping Snute on the defensive.
Yeah, Snute here, he's still on 3 bases, but as you said, the 3rd orbital is done for Happy. He's picking off the Overlord there that's going to be sitting at what's presumably going to become the new 3rd base. And from here, upgrades-wise, it's slightly in Snute's favor. The +1 attack is around the same time, or the +2 attack is around the same time. +1 armor is significantly further behind for Happy, so that's one little deficit that he has that Snute does have an advantage in. And from here, this is actually really nice, because this, as you said, has kind of evened the game out. Snute's not really super far behind or anything. He's got his own 4th base about halfway done. He's got his tech really coming into his own, as he does have a Spire coming on up. Happy, though, ahead in the supply, looks to be just a little bit ahead.
He's up in that supply count, as you said, and that is actually quite a nice spot to be in as a Terran player. Generally, you never want to be behind in overall supply as a Zerg in ZVT, so Snute needs to be very cost-effective in the near future, and getting these Mutalisks out does give him the option to, but note, yet again, just as in the first map, we see Happy dropping down a missile turret at every base. But, also as we saw in that first map, if Snute commits heavily to Mutalisks, one missile turret will not cut it.
I'm really liking this out of Happy. We're seeing Blue Flame Hellions, or a Blue Flame upgrade coming on in for the Hellbats, because he's not opting to play Biomine. He's got a couple mines in here, sure, but he's going to be focusing predominantly on Bio Hellbat here, which means we may see a Thor transition relatively soon to add in that anti-air splash for the Mutalisks. He's going to be able to clean up some of this creep here. A lot of creep out here for Snute, though, and some of those tumors are still alive here, including the active tumor near the tower. So, it looks like his creep spread's not going to suffer too much from this. Happy just trying to claim some more map presence and just claim some more map control for his own. Behind this, though, the Mutalisk count is rising. He's up to 6, soon to be 8. And he does have Baneling speed and almost 2-2 ready for his Ling Bane.
In terms of army supply, they're relatively similar now. But Snute, with a lot of Banelings, getting aggressive across this map. Heading straight on by, needs to be careful about the Widow Mines. Burrows a couple of Banelings here, this could be nice. Are they going to be seen? Well, they are detonating. There's a scan there, so good times. But Snute just trying to posture for a good position. What Happy needs to do is just keep on maxing out. And he needs to keep forcing back this creep. One of the reasons that Snute was able to defend those drops so easily is because of the vision that this creep gives him. He knew that Happy wasn't moving across the map and that he was completely safe to pull back his entire army in order to defend a couple of drops.
Alright, could be nice. It looks like Snute is going to try to do some damage here with these mutas, but more importantly, I think he may try to bait some of the units over those Banelings. If he can bait them over the Banelings here, that would be a nice way to pick off some of these units at a very, very decent trade for him. Happy is up by about 25 supply now, and this is because Snute's really having trouble with his macro this game. He's been supply blocked for quite a while. He's making 7 Overlords at the moment, and from that's not a great position to be in, obviously. And from here, he does have a lot of money, so he'll probably be like getting up there in the supply as soon as he's ready. And we do have 8 more Mutalisks in production immediately, but he's looking a little bit flustered this game.
I think psychologically speaking, look at what Snute's had happen this game. He got in right at the very start from a supply depot that was down, dealt tons of damage, destroyed the push, and thought he was home free for a second win. Happy then came back with a beautiful timing and leveled out this game. Snute was never intending this game to get to the 20-minute mark, and that's where we're at now.
Important to note is that Snute is doing really, really well by just burrowing Banelings in really cool spots. He's got 2 over here outside the 3rd base. He's got 2 here at the watchtower that are probably going to be cleared up by these Marines that are moving on in, but this is just forcing more and more scans to be utilized. And, well, actually, the Marines are going to go down here for free. Goodbye. I think there was a scan there. He should have seen the Banelings, but the Changelings may have actually been blocking them from vision.
In come the Mutas now. They're not going to be able to do much at this 3rd with so many Marines there.
Banelings, Banelings. Nice.
Ooh, nice hit. It was scan, but not in time. Both players maxed out, Happy moving across the map, both players sitting at 2-2, although plus 3 infantry weapons nearly done for Happy. He's got a Thor in the mix as well, and against these mutas, that's actually quite a nice addition. And this is an aggressive Terran, posturing up. Snute preparing for a counterattack though, and the supply depot wall is down.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit interesting here. Lings are going to pick up a Thor for free. That's going to be a really great pickoff here for Snute. And this is really what Snute needed to do. He didn't have enough Banelings that field to hold this push head on, so opted for the base race option instead. And we'll see what he can make happen with this. Happy already dropping a lot of max supply here, losing a lot of his depots, losing a lot of his workers, trying to push on his own. But the problem is that, I mean, base racing against Madals is never really what you want to do, and especially against a Zerg that has burrow. If he picks off all of these orbital commands, he can just run drones around and just burrow them everywhere.
This is a very interesting situation for Happy to be in, because Snute, he's expanding everywhere already. He's got a greater army supply at the moment, destroying everything. The mutas are just tearing apart these orbital commands. That's the final orbital now dead. Meanwhile, back at home, Snute isn't actually losing too much because Happy pulling back in order to defend. But what is there even to defend now?
This looks actually really bad for Happy now, to be honest. And we do have Snute just continuing to pick off stuff. And the problem is this is the situation now, which for those of you who watched Red Bull Battlegrounds, the infamous Scarlet versus Bomber game, we're kind of in the position where they were at the end of this, where there's no scans and there's burrow for the Banelings. There's 19 Banelings on the map, so he can continue to burrow those all over the place. As you said, Snute's expanding everywhere. How does Happy deal with the burrow now?
With extreme difficulty. The other trouble is he's only got one structure, this starport. Now, does he have any SCVs? Yes, he does.
Lots,
That's actually really important that he's got these SCVs, because hypothetically, all Snute needs to do is get that building on fire, and eventually it will burn down. So this gets pretty tense.
Oh, Banelings, good hit, good hit. Decent number of Marines go down there on the ramp.
Snute just has to be a bit patient right now, and Happy needs to be very, very cautious. And if he exposes the starport, the mutas, they can just come in and win the game.
We do have the Widow Mines trying to get done what they can, but it's on fire. The SCVs need to go back, as you pointed out. They will repair that on up. A couple of free mutas going down there with those mines. So overall, a good trade there for Happy. But this is looking very, very worrying for him. And with all the creep around here, it's not like his SCVs could just put down another building, because they can't build on creep. I would like to just see him move one SCV down to like the bottom right or something, and just put down a CC. He has the money for it.
This is very cautious play by both players. Snute knows that as long as he doesn't take a big gamble, he's absolutely fine. Oh, there's a lot of Barry Banelings there, the Marines.
And he needs to detonate just 2 of those. Doesn't opt to go for those. He wants to wait for big hits. Oh, here comes the army. Is he going to detonate them? No, he's not. Oh my god. Oh my god, the carnage. Oh god.
And that should be GG there. That was a beautiful Barry Bailing hit. Snute just patiently waiting in order to get that big hit down. And that means he takes this second game to go 2-0 up against Happy.